Slicing through the noise with a culture attack. Pop culture, films, and the world we see. Deleted scenes, where the truth runs free. Take care, stay strong, we're breaking the mold. Be safe, stay healthy, let the story unfold. From watch parties with views to the news we spin. Deleted scenes, yeah, this is how we win. Take care, stay strong, we're breaking the mold. Be safe, stay healthy, let the story unfold. From watch parties, reviews to the news we spin. Deleted scenes, yeah, this is how we win. Yeah, yeah. Skeet out when you're using properly, let's roll.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen out there in YouTube land. I am Deleted Scenes, human being, American, and YouTube Ronin, and I'd like to welcome you to tonight's episode of Reserved Seats. First off, I'd like to say hello to everyone currently joining us on X. I can't see you, but I know that you're there. We've had some people join us here in the live chat, so let me say hello real quick to channel member JPRPH1. Natters Network, bringing the Geeky Geezers raid. Host of Geeky Geezers, Aged Boomer, good to see you, sir. The Tired Midnight Blogger, the voice of Northern Oklahoma, Curtis Selby, channel member, good to see you, sir. Tree Rock Creations in the house. My partner in crime, the toxic gunslinger himself, the CEO of the Outlaw Bill Sports Network, Outlaw Bill. Faithful Blue Wrench channel member, the Bird Woman of YouTube. Watch out for her second channel, Fluff Chick Productions. It's Connie Cleary. All right, well, my guest made it. So, on with the show, ladies and gentlemen. Celebrating the Seattle Seahawks victory, Joe's Atmosfere.
What is going on, my friend? Yes, I am celebrating tonight. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Great victory for the Seahawks tonight. Yes.
Indeed.
And by the way, Outlaw Bill and Ronimus, if you've come over to this channel, well, I told everybody that it was kind of funny. We were a little bit late coming on because I had forgotten this show used to start at midnight. And
yes, it did.
So he told me earlier in the week it was starting at 11, but I forgot about it whenever I scheduled this because I wanted to watch the game. And usually I do the show that I do. It's called Chilling at the Club because I'm an old bartender, you know, and I have a drink and I talk with the chat and see what they want to talk about. But I usually do it at 6:00 at night. And so I wanted to make sure I saw the game and I scheduled it for 9:30. I knew the game would be over then. And I completely forgot about you starting an hour early. So that show was only a half an hour tonight. That's all that happened there. So yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Yep. It's got me thinking though, what should I do on Super Bowl Sunday? Should I even go on with a full show or
you're gonna be fine in this slot because that game's that game will be in the same window the Seahawks game was in tonight. It'll start at 5:30. It'll be over by 9:30. It'll be done. Yeah. So which on the East Coast starts at 6:30. It'll be over by 10:30. So 11 o'clock is just fine. Let's see. Hey Troy, what's going on?
Yeah. Just made it. Yeah, we made it. We all made it. We're all here. So,
yeah.
Right on. Okay.
Yep,
yeah.
Absolutely.
Because I was like, well, you know, maybe I could just do a couple of quick reviews or something. I've always got one of those.
I got you covered, man.
Look,
if I say I'm going to be somewhere, I'm going to be somewhere. So, I just shut mine short. It's fine. I didn't, I actually rather not be producing tonight and just kick back and relax because, I've been invested in my NFL. It's the only sport I cover, man. It's the only sport I watch. I might watch the NBA Finals. I might watch the Stanley Cup. I might watch the World Series just to see the event. but I don't follow it like I do football. Uh, yeah, I love football. I've always loved it. I played it as a little boy, and uh, when I got to be in middle school, the Lord said you'll use your brain because every time I tried to do something athletic, He broke a bone. So I just, but I never lost my love of the game, and I still love it. I do a show every season on it. We have a show called Pregame Party, where we do a pregame show. If you don't want the gambling slant and all that shit, which is creeping into every sport now, you can watch us, the fans, talk about it. So, yeah.
Right on.
Yep.
And welcome to Cindy Collin. Hope
Hey,
you're
Cindy.
enjoying the show so far. You haven't missed much. You just started. All right. For the people who are in the chat or might be lurking, there's always a few who might not necessarily know your channel. Why don't you give everybody kind of a quick overview of what it is you do?
Okay. I actually started the channel to really be a proxy copyright for the comic book that I'm working on. I started with a sketching show where I draw my comic book, and pretty much, that way if somebody tries to steal my stuff, hey, go look at my YouTube channel. I've been doing this for this long, that kind of thing. But the guys that really got me doing it were the Friday Night Tights guys. Specifically, Jeremy Grimes from Geeks and Gamers. His reviews of Last of Us 2, I really paid attention to that stuff because I had been burnt by a video game called WWE 2K20. Those of you that play that game know what I'm talking about. Spent $100 on that thing and played it for an hour. That's how bad it was. I will never buy a video game brand new again because of it. And so not only did I do my comic book stuff on there, but these guys with the Friday Night Tights guys, and if you've never gone to one of their meetups, go. It's one of those things where if you meet your heroes, you're going to enjoy it. They're good guys. They really are. And they said, if you've got a voice and you want to talk about this stuff, you need to get on YouTube and do it. I mean, they really promoted people like me and Deleted and Troy Pacelli and others to get on and speak our mind about these things that were going on in pop culture. So I went ahead and started a pop culture show. It's my favorite one I do every week. It's State of the Atmosfere. I love that show. Me and a fellow named Ron and Das Wolfen from Pop Culture Minefield do it together every week. I appear twice a week on Pop Culture Minefield. Gary is a fellow comic book aficionado and artist, and he's been very good to me. The other show I'm on a lot, I've been on your show before, but I mean, on a regular basis, I'm on Pop Culture Minefield. I'm also on That 70s Rock Fans channel. Love Brian to death. He does great stuff, and I'm there with him every Monday on It's Only Talk and Roll. But I do pop culture. I do a show on Sunday nights with my brother. That's been on hiatus for a little bit, but we're coming back with that in February after the Super Bowl. It's where we look at the topics of the day. We go through about 30, 40 articles and talk about it. You know what I mean? Talk about what's going on in the world today. That's kind of like the news one that I do. And then I've also got video game shows. That's what the channel really was started on. God, back in I'd have to look it up. I think it's like 09 or 10 that I actually started just with my PlayStation playing video games and putting it on YouTube. But yeah, video games, pop culture, current events, and comic book art. That's what I do. And during football season, I cover football because I enjoy it so much. Basically all my passions. That's what I do. And there you have it. Deleted scenes.
So, speaking of your comic book, is that something that we can go into? In any
Yeah,
detail? Maybe
absolutely, man.
Let
Absolutely.
the folks know what that is and what it's all about.
Oh yeah, man. It's okay. I'm wondering if I have some pictures I can share with you of it here on the computer itself, because I do all my work on my iPad. I can actually show you some of the actual hand-drawn stuff, but I'd rather show you some other stuff. Hang on, let's see. The comic book I've been writing for a long time. It was inspired by an episode of The West Wing, of all things. Okay. One my favorite drama of all time is The West Wing. I love that show. I'm a very patriotic person, and you got to remember this show was made back when there were still some, you know, uh, how do I put this? Some shine to the Oval Office. You know what I mean? Nowadays with social media, there's you almost don't want to know what the president's doing. But back then there was some, there was some class to it and that kind of thing. Anyway, there was one episode where Stockard Channing, who I love to death, from the leader of the Pink Ladies in Greece back in the day, she plays the president's wife on that show. Mm-hmm. And she was being honored by the Daughters of the American Revolution, right? And she kept getting garbage from the staff because they kept calling her relative that she was getting honored for a pirate when he was a privateer during the American Revolution. And the privateers and the merchant marines during the American Revolution, what the colonies used to do was issue them letters of marque. And what these letters allowed them to do was go in the open seas and fight the British. We didn't have a navy, right? So we fought the British through piracy and these merchant marines. And the letters gave them the right to go attack these ships in the name of the colonies, but they had to bring back anything that would help the war effort back to the colonies, right? Bandages, ammunition, gunpowder, that kind of thing. But anything else they took off the ships, they could keep. And some of them went all the way to the shores of Great Britain to fight these guys, Anyway, they made a massive contribution. I didn't know what the privateers during the American Revolution were, so I did a bunch of research on it, and it intrigued me. So what I did was I did a what they call a treatment. It's like a little, 3 or 4 paragraph, 1-page synopsis of a story, right? That you do for like a movie, I guess. They call them treatments. It's something you put together before you write a script, Mm-hmm. And it was about a guy that stowed away on a pirate ship to try and find his father, who had been dragged away from him when he was 12 years old. Because one of the things they did in the colonies during the American Revolution was they would send what they called naval press gangs to villages, and just basically anybody that was of fighting age, they just knock them senseless, throw a bag over the head, and kidnap them and throw them in the Navy, right? So he had lost his father that way. He stows away on a pirate ship, and he tries to learn the ways of the sea so he could try and find his dad. That's why he started, and he becomes this great pirate, right? And that was the original story, right? Mm-hmm. And when a game called DC Universe Online came out in 2010, and I had been writing about this guy for a while, just little short stories and stuff, I decided to make him my superhero. I decided I was going to write a story in such a way that he was brought to the future, right? And that's what the comic book's about, how he gets brought to the future, and he has a Revolutionary War mentality about government and about overreach and taxation without representation, that kind of thing. He's got an inflated sense of freedom, and I have him showing up here in the future the day after 9/11. If you guys really want to read it, you can go to my Subscribe Star page. It's on there. Or he's got his own Facebook page too. You can go there and read it. The Privateer has a fictional character Facebook page. But yeah, that's what it's about. Let me see if I can find some of the artwork I've done on here. If not, I'll just grab my iPad and show it to you. Sure. Let's see. We've got, the scripts are here. I'm just wondering about my artwork.
In the meantime, we do have a quick question in the chat for both of us from Outlaw Bill. Mm-hmm. He says, should I give up calling the games? Less and less people are watching me and listening to me on YouTube, but yet I get 245 listening over on X, which I don't even know are real. I would
I would say no. If it's something you're
no,
passionate
don't
about, Outlaw, no.
absolutely. I mean, keep going with that,
Mm-hmm.
please. Uh, I I think there's room for it. I don't. I certainly don't know of enough channels who cover the games as extensively as
Right.
Bill does,
Mm-hmm.
and someone who knows what he's talking about too, and he
Yep.
has his ear to the ground about what's going on, sort of not only with the games themselves, but what's going on behind the scenes with the teams.
Yep.
And I honestly, Bill, I would rather listen to you call a game than any of these assholes on ESPN.
Yeah. Hello, for sure. Absolutely. I don't even look. I don't pay for ESPN. I didn't watch the national championship this year
Hmm.
because I didn't watch any of the playoff games because it's all on ESPN. I call them the Communist News Network. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
they have an entire section.
Hmm.
There's a guy named Scott Van Pelt that does the late night show on ESPN, and he has an entire segment that's called Bad Beats. And what this is, it's an entire segment about how teams messed up the point spread that was set by the lines makers in Vegas.
Hmm.
I don't care about that. I just
No.
want to know how my team did. You know, it's all about gambling now, and I have a very personal relationship with gambling. My wife is a compulsive gambler, so I look down on that stuff. But that's just me personally. If you like anything else, like this bottle of beer, like gambling, like anything else, a weed, whatever. If you control it, it's entertainment. But if it controls you, it is an addiction, and you need to get help for it. So that's all I'm gonna say about that. But yeah, I'm not really down with FanDuel and DraftKings being all over sports now. I don't. I think it's a very bad thing. But here, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen
Okay.
with you. And I've got some of the character drawings that I did when I first started on this computer. But most of my artwork that I've got for the comic book itself is on my iPad. So
Hmm.
I'd have to start broadcasting on Twitch and everything. I'm not going to do that tonight. But that's a sketch of the Royal Fox. That is the wife of the privateer. When I made it a comic book, I started to incorporate a lot of the characters that I created on that game. This is what it looks like digitally after I was done with the sketch. Um, and I modeled it after my wife. My wife is a big fan of anything magic, and she was a nurse, so I made uh, this character a sorceress healer type person. This is the privateer sketch that I did. It's just a character sketch, and that's what he looked like when I. And the program I did this on was called Procreate. Anybody that's got an iPad, you can download it for nothing. It's like a poor man's. Uh, what's that one everybody uses? Adobe Photoshop.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's like that. Only it's free, and you get it with your iPad. So that's what I'm doing my whole comic book on. This is the portrait sketch of her, and that's the portrait digital drawing. That's the portrait sketch of the privateer. I always feel like if you're creating a superhero, aged boomer is the privateer. Actually, he's modeled after me with a Fu Manchu mustache. But um, yeah, I feel like if you've got a good silhouette for your character, I think that hat really sets him off. You know what I mean? So uh, the tricorn hat I really dig. Anyway, we got that, and then I made a couple of posters that you can actually see on my desk back here. They're on my drawing board. I had some of them printed, and I put them together in one. Um, and that's the show I do every week. That's one of the earliest thumbnails I did for it. So there you go. That's the privateer. That's my comic book that I'm working on. Now, is it done yet? No. I'm like, if you watch the show, I'm in the middle of inking page 8. I now understand why it takes teams of guys to make these things. It's a lot of work. To get it done in a month, I would have to quit my job and quit YouTube and do nothing but draw and write and all that good stuff because it takes a lot of work to do these things. That's what I'm learning through this process. I've never done it before, So, yeah, it's very interesting. It's a very interesting journey. I was putting, time limits on myself, but this is a bucket list thing. So, I'm just going to take my time and do it exactly the way I want to do it. You know. Yeah, you can watch me do it every Friday at 1 p.m. That's when I'm doing it for about an hour. The privateer looks like a patriot lackey. A patriot lackey?
Yeah, yeah. He's
Well, the Patriots probably are the privateer's favorite football team because he's from New England. He's from Maine. Uh, I'm telling you, I went overboard on the research of this because one of my goals when I do this book is I want to teach a little bit of history with it too, correct history. And I have him being from a town on the eastern seaboard of Maine called Marquise, Maine. And this was the place that the first naval battle of the American Revolution took place. It was between the townsfolk and a British supply ship. And they were getting a little tired of the British coming in there and throwing their weight around. They would subscribe townspeople to guard the ships when they were, offloading goods and stuff like that. And one day they got just tired of it. They knew what was going on in Boston. So when the ship was leaving, armed with pitchforks and a few muskets and using planks of wood for armor, they went out in their own boats and tracked this ship down and took it.
Mhm.
That was the first naval battle of the American Revolution. No offense, their colors.
Get close. Yeah.
I hear you. I hear you, bro. No, I don't take offense at all. I love the character. I think he's cool as hell. I think you guys are going to enjoy it when I do get it done and you get to read it. If you go to my Subscribestar page, just go to Subscribestar. I'm this guy right here on every social media and everything there is. I spelled it wrong on purpose because I knew I'd get the URL for joesatmosfere.com very easily, right? I know it's supposed to be PH in there, but I spelled it with an F on purpose. But if you go to Joe's Atmosphere on Subscribestar, you can read the entire plot of the first book on there. You can read his origin story. You can read the Rolf Fox's origin story. All the behind the scenes stuff for the comic book is really on my Subscribestar page. That's where you can see it. So I think you guys are going to enjoy it. I really do. I've had several people that are comic book aficionados tell me that I should have been doing this years ago. So, I'm looking forward to it. I like what I'm doing. I hope you guys enjoy it too. And there you go.
All right. So, are there any comic books that you personally enjoy, or in particular, maybe ones that you feel are being slept on, or not or should be more higher profile than they are?
Modern day comics or just overall?
Or. Yeah.
Huh?
Either or. Yeah.
Either or. Okay. Well, I can't speak to modern day comics. What I do nowadays is I buy Spider-Man and anything Supergirl. I have a pull list over at the comic book shop. Actually, hang on, I'm going to show you that real quick. That's in my art folder too. I actually did the sign that's outside of my local comic book shop. I do some limited sign work, but when the comic book shop wanted one, I said, you know what? I'll go ahead and do that for them. You know what I mean? But yeah, this is the place where I get my comic books here in Shreveport, Louisiana. They're the last one standing. Excalibur Cards and Games. Comics, cards, and games. That's the sign I painted for them outside. Matter of fact, at the opening of my comic book show, you can see me on video working on the sign. But yeah, that's them. And I have a pull list over there. And a guy I went to high school with is the guy at the counter there at Excalibur, and he knows to pull me all the Amazing Spider-Mans and anything Supergirl. And as you can see, I'm a huge Supergirl fan. She's next to me all the time. But Spider-Man's my favorite. Over the years, I've enjoyed. I tell you, if you want to see some gems that you might not know about, check out Fathom by Michael Turner, the late great Michael Turner. I really dug his stuff. It's another take. I think every comic book line has its own take on Atlantis, and this is his for Image Comics. It's actually their Top Cow line. Uh, Top Cow also had Witchblade and the Laura Croft books. Then a lot of people don't know that there's Tomb Raider comic books. So I definitely say stuff that's under the radar that I think people would enjoy in our sphere. Definitely check out Top Cow Comics. They had some good stuff. It's part of Image Comics. Uh, those of us that read comics know that Mike McFarlane, uh, Todd McFarlane, that's his name, Todd McFarlane, split off from his success with Spider-Man on Marvel Comics and made his own comic line. You may have heard of Spawn or seen the movie Spawn. You might have seen that. Have you ever seen that deleted scenes?
Yes, I have.
Okay. That's based on a comic book by Todd McFarlane. He started Image Comic Books with that one. And very successful line of comics, had several titles, but Spawn was really the cornerstone of it. And of course, he's gone on to great success doing statues like this one. He does sports figures that look just like the real people and stuff, and all kinds of stuff in pop culture he does too. But I would say Image Comics has had some really good stuff. Everybody knows DC. Everybody knows Spider-Man. Everybody knows, Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, the Trinity from DC. They know the X-Men. That's nothing new there. But I'd say something that might have gone under the radar would be the Image Comics that are out there. It was made for comic creators. He made that label for comic creators, and I think it's still going to this day. But I would definitely check out the Fathom run by Michael Turner. That was fantastic. It was really good. Aspen Matthews as Fathom. Check that one out. It's pretty cool.
Bill actually brings up a pretty good point here. He says, I promise to I'll fan fund you and I get some greenbacks. So is a privateer being
It is not.
kind of
I am
fan
not
funded,
going to
or is it
crowdfund
all
this
by your
thing.
own
I'm going to
self?
pay for it myself. And I have nothing against crowdfunding. That's great. But like I said, if you're going to crowdfund, you really need to. You have to meet milestones. That means that there's some expectation there. And I work a 40-hour a week job. I want to run a YouTube channel. I don't know when I'm going to be done with this thing. I just know that whenever it's done, I'm going to it's going to probably start off digitally because I'm not rich. If I fall into some money, yeah, I'll go ahead and print some up. But it's just something that I want to be able to check that on my bucket list and say I did that. I just turned 60 last summer, and my kids are grown, and I take care of my 81-year-old mother now. She's down here in Louisiana with me from Maine, and you know, I if I was going to do crowdfunding, I'd want to make it a full-time job and be able to meet some deadlines and get it done. If you understand what I'm saying, that's the biggest complaint I've seen about the crowdfunded stuff is that people are late with their stuff, not coming out on time, that kind of thing. And I don't want that kind of constraint. So what I'm going to do, for instance, you can actually see a zero issue of the Privateer. A zero issue, what this is, it's like 5 pages that are already inked. There's no words on them, no color, nothing like that. It's just a teaser to give people an idea what's going to be in the book, right? And I've got that up on Amazon Kindle under Atmosfere Comics. Of course, I wanted to put it up there for free just to let people see it. You know what I mean? But these, capitalists at Amazon want some server money, I guess. So the lowest I could put it up there was for $1. So it's up there if you want to look at that. But really, the Subscribe Star page is better. You know what I mean? For $1, you can read all the stories I've already written about him. And for $5, you get to see all the artwork I'm working on. So There you go. So no, I'm not crowdfunding it. I'm going to be when it's done, I will either put it up digitally and you'll buy it that way, or if I have the funding by then, I'll go ahead and print some up. I'm not going to print a bunch though. It's you could fall into some serious problems going ahead and putting money into something that's not going to sell. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
I know how the crowdfunding thing works, but like I said, I don't want to have I don't want to not meet expectations when it comes to the time, because once people lay down their money, they expect some product, right? You understand what I'm saying?
Indeed.
And I don't, I don't want people to think that I'm not being faithful to them by not getting it done. I don't have the ability to work on these things all the time. So there you go. Thank you, Outlaw Bill. I would love to be able to just stop what I'm doing and do this for money all the time, but you know how that is. It's not like that. They call us starving artists for a reason, you know, unless you've got a name like EVS or Ripiverse or anything like that. Like those of us that don't have a name like that, we're not going to make much. You know what I mean? He says, okay, I will purchase your digital, and then when you can, make physical copies. That's what I plan on doing. If I make enough off the digital, then I'll go ahead and print some, you know, uh, the physical copies. Yeah, that's what I'm planning on doing.
Right. Like to say hello to our man from the future, Sashi. Good to see you, sir. And Tree Rock Creations has joined us as well. Thank you. This crowdfunding is a lot of extra work anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it actually can be.
Yes, absolutely. Man. And
You
and
know,
there's guys that are good at it and they can meet those. But these are guys you got to remember they're professionals. They've been doing it anyway for a long time. You know, this is their job. That's what they do. Uh, I watch a lot of different comic guys. Uh, what is that fella's name? Gabriel Eltib, is that his name?
hmm
Does the American Detective comic, I think it is, or something. It's the
right,
guy
right,
from
with Dean Kane. Yeah.
right, Dean Kane's comic book. Yeah, I'd love him. I've supported him in the past. Uh, EVS, I've never bought any of his stuff because I'm just not into the Cyberfrog thing. If he ever does anything besides Cyberfrog that I'd be interested in, I'd back him because he's a really good artist. You know, he's like the Rush Limbaugh of artists, though. You
Mhm.
know, he can rub people the wrong way just by his sheer arrogance. You know what I mean? But he's
hmm
very talented. He's very
Yeah.
talented at what he does. Eric July, I've bought a bunch of his comics. Now I've slowed down
Right.
on that. I got some of his original stuff, but you know, from here on out, you're going to have to put out something I want to see. And there's only one or two that I'm really really gung ho about. Uh, who else? Shane Davis does some cool stuff. I really want to get some of Mandy Summers stuff. She does stuff that I'm really into. I really like that. I want to get her Pirate Girl books.
hmm
Not so much the Gem Shock ones, but the Pirate Girl I'm into. I'm down with that right there. I've got to go get some of that. So yeah, I follow a lot of these crowdfunders, and they do a lot of work, man. But this is the living they're into, though. That's how they make their money, So they can spend every hour of the day working on it. I got a question for you, deleted scenes.
Yes,
How
sir.
is this vertical format working out for you?
It's actually working out okay. It's working out
I've
well.
seen it
I'm
on the
definitely
side here.
getting.
I haven't done it
Yeah.
myself, but
Um, it was something that I was reticent about.
mhm.
But I had decided about a week or two ago, give it a try. Let's see where it goes. And I do notice that I am getting a bit of a viewer jump.
Yeah.
So
Well, I mean,
hey,
it's
as
it's
many eyes on
perfect
the show as
format
I
for
can
the
get.
phone, right?
Yeah,
So yeah,
absolutely.
and a lot of
So
people watch this on the phone.
people are not always in front of their computer. I watch YouTube in three different ways. I am either on my laptop, I am watching on my television, or I'm watching on my phone on occasion, or usually more likely listening on my phone while I'm taking a walk or something.
Hmm.
Um, and Audible is usually a lot of help there too. But
Right. Yeah.
and so yeah, people are not always in front of their computers all of the time. So I mean, if this is a way for me to be able to open things up a little bit, let's see where it goes. I get it's not for everybody. And like I said, I didn't think it was going to be for me, and I don't
Hmm.
know how long I'm going to continue with it, but right now it seems to be working.
Why not put it
And
out there every way you can?
yeah.
I'm one guy that I watch a lot on YouTube, and I don't watch him as much anymore, but I do enjoy his stuff from time to time. It's the quartering,
Hmm.
and Jeremy has always preached, why not use alt tech? Why
Yeah.
not put it out there in every way, shape, or form you can? You know, it doesn't cost you anything. So why not go ahead and do that? When I do a show, I try to put it out on as many channels as I can. Um, I'm not using StreamYards anymore because I think they've gotten way too proud of their product. Um, I was paying like 240 a year for it, and all of a sudden they wanted to jump it up to 420.
Yeah. No.
I was like, no, no, because I pay by the year.
Hmm.
I've since started using one that, excuse me, Brian put me onto, called Streamlabs Talk Studio.
Uh,
I'm using that one, and I can put it out on as many channels as I want. There's no limitation. So when I do a broadcast, I'm doing it on Facebook, Rumble, Kick. Uh, don't do it on X because you have to have blue check mark on X, and uh, until I start making money
no.
at this, I'm not going to pay for that. Um, I pay for the yellow one, the cheap version, but not the one you need for live streaming. What's the other one I do? Let's see. Facebook, Kick. Oh, Twitch. Yeah,
Hmm.
Twitch. So I put it out on 5 different
Yeah.
channels when I do a show. Yeah.
Yeah. Twitch. I left Twitch to be
Mhm.
honest because honestly it was starting to creep me out a little bit.
Yeah.
Some of the stuff that's on there, and I'm like,
Hey, I didn't say I watched
yeah,
Twitch.
I
I
don't.
just said I put my show on Twitch. Yeah.
And I really wasn't following enough people on there to really make me want to go over. And the people that I was following were like putting out content on Twitch. So,
Yeah.
what's the word I'm looking for? Um, I'm getting old. I'm forgetting words.
That's
Um,
okay. It's
so
happened to both of us.
infrequently that it was just like kind of really what was the point?
Hmm.
So I said, okay, I can let one of these platforms go.
Do
And
you
so
play
I
video
kind of
games?
no,
Then
not
there's no reason for you to be
really.
on Twitch then. Yeah.
Yeah.
There really isn't. I mean, I do all of my shows on that one, but really it's a video game platform. That's what it was meant to be before the thoughts took it over. You know,
Hmm.
uh yeah, that's what it's supposed to be. And it's still a good video game platform. They just got done with a charity event called Games Done Quick. Have you ever
Hmm.
seen this thing?
I, I,
They'll
I
do
don't
a
think so.
run through. They'll do a run through of Baldur's Gate in like 3 hours. It's crazy, you know. I thought Twitch is dying or is dead. I tell you, you want to see something funny? Do you know the streamer Camelot? Do you know him? Have you ever watched his stuff?
I think so.
He runs around
Yeah.
with Yellow Flash, and uh, he used to be
Yeah.
real good friends with Nick Rekieta. I know he's fallen by the wayside. Nick has. He's trying to make a bounce back, but I don't watch him anymore after what happened to him.
Hmm.
He was one of the best pieces of advice I got when I started doing this. Uh, Comics Division told me, no matter what you do, just be authentic, be yourself, don't be fake. He said because people will smell it a mile away. And I don't know if you know the Nick Rekieta story, but yeah,
Yeah.
it's a bad thing what happened with him. But Camelot was a guy that I watched during that, and this guy is actually living his dream. He's actually driving for NASCAR now. He started in their truck series, and I think he's driving for something else now. But um, this guy, he's so much fun to watch, and but he here recently, man, he got hit with a bunch of chargebacks on super chats, and oof, that kicked him in the butt big time. And what's funny is YouTube doesn't do chargebacks. At least that's what they tell us, you know. And he got a bunch of chargebacks. He's beginning to wonder if he's even going to keep doing it. But that guy's a lot of fun. I highly recommend him for sure.
All right. This is Sashi saying delete scenes. Hot tub stream when?
Right?
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
Not happening.
Oh, one thing I forgot with Camelot, what I was leading to there is if you watch the opening of his show, he preaches about the downfall of Twitch too. He's got this cool AI. Look, AI, and we can have a tired discussion about this. A lot of people are getting tired of it, but some of the creative stuff that they're doing, that some of these streamers are doing with it, is great. Watch Camelot's video live streams. He plays this fucking video that he made with the CEO. I don't know if it's the CEO or it's the director of Twitch. It's that guy with the cowboy hat and the older guy with the beard that runs Twitch, I guess. And it is one of the funniest things you'll ever see. It's him partying, saying, "Oh, we don't care if you're underage." Blah 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 blah. I mean, it looks really bad. It's really bad. He's dancing in nightclubs with teenagers and stuff. It's hilarious, man. He makes this guy look so bad. And Camelot also, what he does is he worked at GameStop forever, so he does all kinds of videos about GameStop and what they're doing and all that stuff. Of course, that's another video game thing, so that's why I watch him. But he's a lot of fun to watch. He really is. And that video he does about Twitch going under, it's a dying platform. There's no doubt about it. That is correct. Whoever said that in a comment earlier, it is dying. It is. It's sad, but because I used to watch it all the time.
Connie says, when I do a live stream, I put it on YouTube, and next definitely need to look into Streamlab Talk.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's Talk Studio is the name of it. It's much cheaper. It's got a couple of glitches that I try to work around. It's not as user friendly as Streamlabs is, or excuse me, as StreamYard. I really did enjoy StreamYard, but they just got too proud of their stuff, man. Jacking that up to 420, I'm not paying that. That's ridiculous. There's other stuff out there that I can afford anything around 200, 250 for a good streaming platform, to do that with. Something that'll make it easier for me to produce a show, and I was fine with what I had before, and they jacked it up in 1 year, just through the roof. And a lot of the guys that taught me about streaming don't even use it anymore. It's either EV Mux or Talk Studio people are using, And from what I hear, EV Mux can be a little complicated. So,
it is. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So she's saying Dan Clancy. I guess is that supposed to be? I don't know who that is. I can't. Is that the Twitch guy? Hang on. Let me. I can't help you there, Sashi.
Yeah, it's one of the. I'm telling you, go watch Camelot. Next time Camelot live streams, check it out, or watch one from a month ago.
Dan Clancy. Yeah, he is the Twitch guy. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I remember him now. Yeah. All right. Yeah.
Well, there was a big thing. I don't know if you remember they had TwitchCon not too long ago, and one of the friggin' Twitch streamers that was very popular got approached by somebody and damn near grabbed at the thing, and security didn't do anything about it.
Yeah.
The personal security of the guy, or excuse me, the girl in this case, had to walk the guy out, and the security for the friggin' show ended up running the security for the streamer out.
Yeah.
I mean, they're getting a bad rep, man. They're not protecting their streamers when they have these conventions and stuff. It's Twitch is not looking good right about now. It's really not. And I think Prime is actually kind kind of embarrassed that they bought the platform. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. There you go.
I mean, yeah.
Sashi knows the incident I'm talking about. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous, man. If you're going to have something like that, you need security for these people.
Yeah. Bill's question was, here's a major question. How do we, the users of StreamYards, make a difference and yet get them to lower the prices?
Oh. I don't know that you can even. The only thing these folks understand is not making the money they were making.
Mhm.
I told them what I thought in my exit survey. I said, look, you damn near doubled the price on it and you're not improving it. Every improvement you make is messing up the platform. So yeah, I can't stay with you. That's what I told them. And no, the Talk Studio that I'm using, it has all the bells and whistles. It has a few extras, but there's a few things that make your broadcast just a little bit glitchy, For instance, the one that drives me nuts is when you're playing videos that you've downloaded to your studio, right? You can play one after another and have no gaps, right? When one ends, you can start another one and it'll just start playing right away. Doesn't work like that on Talk Studio. If you go to click on another video to get it started, it just stops the other one. And then you got to start the next one. You know what I'm saying? There's a little bit of a glitch there. Unlike this, where you can just play one video and then play another one on top of it. You can interrupt one of your videos with another video, that kind of thing. And it'll be seamless. You understand what I'm saying? Deleted scenes. Mm-hmm. Okay. Oh, yeah, you can't do that with Talk Studio. It's got a start and a stop. You're either stopping it or letting it play through until it stops. I sit there and play with the timing all the time and try and get it just right to where it stops on its own, and then I can start the next one and try and not have that background or the people that I'm on with, in between. But it's hard to do. But that's a small thing, though. You know what I mean? It has a sound bar on it where you can sit there and put cheers in there and all kinds of things, man. It's pretty cool. I do like that stuff. Background music's another thing that you can do with it. I mean, I know you can do it with this one, but you can download your own music. I don't think they have that feature on here unless they've added it. You can download your own music and play it in the background. My brother is he's a guitarist, and he's put out like 6 albums in the last 2 years, and I'm constantly using his stuff for my background music when I'm by myself doing my comic book show. So it's got some extra stuff, but some of the stuff that you're used to isn't quite there. You know what I mean? But it's cheaper, and I think the account that I was using before on StreamYard, the most I could do was 3 channels to stream on. Beautiful thing about Talk Studio, if you want to shotgun your stuff all over the internet, you can do it to an unlimited amount of channels. If you want to do it on Odyssey and whatever, what other ones can you do? With that vertical platform, I'm sure you can do it on Instagram and TikTok too, right? You'd be able to do that.
Likely,
you'd be able to do that on all those platforms. You can punch it in and do it. Like I said, every one of my shows, 5 different platforms I'm putting that on. Yep.
So. All right. I do want to say hello to Real Wade Nation Gaming Recap.
Oh, yeah. Here we go.
See Wade. Odds on Patriots Dynasty 2.0. Well, you have a Seahawks fan here on the show. And,
that's why he asked it.
A
He's
particularly pissed off Denver fan.
Denver fan in the chat, too.
in the chat
and
he's
well, no. Real Wade is one of the Denver fans. He's a Broncos fan, too. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Dynasty 2.0, it doesn't start this time around, bro. They gonna find out. Because I got news for them. They're traveling all the way across the country to San Francisco, where we play once a year. That's a rival stadium. And it's going to be like a home game for the Seahawks. They only got to go one state south to play in Santa Clara. They're playing the Super Bowl. I don't know if you knew this or not, Deleted Scenes. They're playing it in Santa Clara, which is the home of the San Francisco 49ers.
Ah,
And it's one state away from Washington State. And so there's going to be a lot of Seahawks fans in that stadium. A lot. Now, the
right on.
Patriots fans, they do travel well, and there's Patriots fans in every state in the union. But there's a whole lot more Seahawks fans on the West Coast than there are Patriots fans. I can tell you that right now. So it's going to be a home game for the Seahawks.
Right on.
Yep.
And Qapla' to our resident Klingon Mark Malnikoff says, while it's closed, walk away on mass. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
And that's pretty much
That's
what
the
I
only
said,
language they
earlier.
understand.
Yeah.
That's it.
I mean, I don't want to go off on a rant because I kind of already did that earlier tonight. But,
It's your show. You do what you want to do, buddy.
Well, this is supposed to be the chill show, and I already
Okay.
did the rant,
Okay. That's cool.
So, and I've been watching what a lot of these Hollywood types have been saying, especially in the last week. And I go, hey, you know what? If you want to burn down the rest of your industry, please
More power to you.
continue. Nobody's going to watch the Oscars. It's going to be the lowest rated of all time. The only thing that could be worse is if they had gotten Kimmel and not Conan.
They were turning things around. I watched it last year, of course, towards the end of the show. I always turn it on at the end of the show to see who wins. But it was a lot less political last year, but they're never not going to be political. It's not going to be like when you and I were younger and Vanessa Redgrave got up there for Julia and they booed her off the stage for trying to get political. It's not ever going to be like that again. It's almost expected that they're political when they go up there now. Yeah. But I agree with you. They had an uptick last year, but they're going to squander it with one battle after another when they start throwing rewards at that thing. Yeah. Even if people were planning on watching, they'll turn it off. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And let's see. Sashi talking about TwitchCon. They banned a regular security guy for touching people getting too close. But I mean, that's why he was there.
Why he was there.
This was a woman that was already getting threats before the con, and then this guy shows up and has to be very rightly, I think, physically removed from the venue.
Yes.
And her security guy was the only one who did react. And he reacted in the way that was needed. Mm-hmm. Not only the way he was being paid to, but, the man did his job.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's the one who ends up getting thrown out of the place. And it's not right.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see. There was
Did you see the story? Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, please.
Did you see the story about they had put the premiere episode of Starfleet Academy on YouTube?
Uh-huh.
And only had like 1,000 people watch it live.
Something like that, yeah.
And Gary Nerdrotic put
a
fucking figure of Spock up there and got 3,000 people watching it. So funny, man. Ended up on Gutfeld. They mentioned it on Gutfeld.
Yeah.
Amazing. I mean, just chef's kiss. Awesome.
Perfect.
Yep.
This is Connie's not happy that Steelers and Eagles did. Yeah, I know. My boss is from Pittsburgh, so he's a big Steelers guy. I know he's. Yeah. Well, I mean, he's less than thrilled on a general basis anyway. But then again, the Steelers that just drove him all the way.
Yeah.
Let's see. What? When do you not want to rant? When I don't want to rant most of the time. I honestly, I was going to originally do. I was basically going to turn into a weatherman tonight. That's what I was going to do. I was going to talk about.
Which isn't a bad idea. Those weather channels get a lot of followers.
And and the various places, and I was even considering trying to see if I could get people from various parts of the country who I know who are streamers to maybe come on and just say, hey, how's it going where you are? That was a thought that I was having.
Mm-hmm.
But I just got so angry that this fairy boy little prick, Lemon, just went into that church
Oh,
like that
God.
the way he did.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and I'm not even a religious man. And I went into this tonight, I am not the most religious guy on the face of the planet. But you respect a venue like that.
Yeah.
You do not go in there pulling these Ku Klux Klan tactics and then say that you're the one who's, fighting that sort of thing. Get the fuck out of here with that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's
called intimidation.
He should be in a cell. If I did that, I would be in a cell right now, guaranteed.
Mm-hmm. Well, they've made some arrests in that incident. Now they haven't arrested Lemon, but no. I wouldn't be surprised if they did eventually. You know what I mean? Yeah, that was bad. Scrape. I'm like you. I'm not super religious, but I do go to church. I am a believer, and I do go to church every weekend. We didn't go today because we couldn't drive there. That's for sure. No. And it's right. It's only one neighborhood away from me, and we couldn't have got there. There's no way. I've done shorts about what it looks like around here, man. Yeah. And this is in North Louisiana, buddy. Yeah. I was lucky. I get off work at 8:00 in the morning. Okay, on Saturday morning, and I'm telling you, I shot pictures and put them in a short. And by the time I got in my car an hour later, things had deteriorated so badly. I mean, it's amazing. I had to take I-20 to cross the Red River to get home. And if I'd have left about 2 hours later, I wouldn't have got home. It was ramping up that much by Saturday morning. Yeah. It was crazy.
That's when I saw that video and I saw the snow you had out there. I was like, that's why I was starting to think that, oh, maybe you lost power out there or something. And I'm like, because I mean, if it's that kind of...
Actually, we were lucky. It was mostly sleet. It was not freezing rain and snow. It was mostly sleet. Now, this stuff, if you don't know what sleet is, it's the little bitty pellets. And it piled up and it had a little bit of freezing rain to make it solid. But nothing like we thought we were going to get as far as ice accumulations. They were predicting anywhere from 1/4 to 1/2 inch of ice, and that would have fucked up power around this whole place.
Yeah, I mean,
look, here in the South, we're not built for that shit. The only reason why I was able to take I-20 home is because it's a major highway, and they sand that thing to make sure it stays open. But everything else in town, it was whited out, shut down. If it wasn't for I-20, I wouldn't have got home Saturday. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and I'm in South Carolina, so it's the same way. If we get ice, we lose power, guaranteed. It just every time it happens. And traveling isn't always easy because we had, and we haven't even really had any ice or snow yet, and we're already having like cars flipping over. We had like a gas tanker that just blew up on I-95. I mean, it is like a mess out there already. And like, we haven't even had the heavy weather yet. Yeah. And that's assuming we get it, which we're kind of 50-50. But because we are kind of just outside of that zone that's having it. It's almost like, it's kind of weird because it's like all of the radar I've been seeing, every report I've been seeing, it kind of cuts South Carolina into kind of like this diagonal, and where they're the ones who are the upstate is going to get the sleet and the snow, and the rest
we'll
get maybe some rain and and it's going to get super cold Monday night. It is. It's going to go back down to the 20s, so it's going to be a mess just doing that. But as far as, are we going to get any snow or any ice, or are we going to get these 20-mile winds that people have been asking me about? I that it's 50-50. We don't know. We might not.
Yeah.
I don't know. So
Mm-hmm.
that's why I've been kind of so reticent about planning anything for like the next couple of days, because
Mm-hmm.
it's like we might not. I honestly don't know, because they're telling us two different things.
Right.
That's why I'm just saying, if you're near this, or if you're in the zone of the storm, just be vigilant, and keep an eye on the
Yeah, you
weather
got to pay
reports.
attention to
And
your
find
local
someplace
weather.
reliable. Just
Yeah.
and don't go out. If it's snowing, it's ice, and you don't have to go out. Don't go out.
Yeah, and here's
Yeah.
the thing. I live in Louisiana. We don't have the infrastructure for this stuff,
No.
and I know how to drive in it. My dad's from Boston, Massachusetts. My mother's from Maine. I've driven in it before. It's no big deal if you know what you're doing. Most of the people in South Carolina and Louisiana don't know how to drive in this shit. I remember, I don't know, we had a storm like this back in 2021, if you remember, 5 years ago. We called it the snowpocalypse down here. Some people were out of power for a week, and it was a lot worse than this one. But I had to drive work on a Tuesday, and I had to be there. And it was when this stuff was first starting to melt, but we still had a good coating of ice on everything. Even if you know how to drive in this, you need to stay home, because the other people on the road don't. They don't. And you better be giving them room too, because they're going to be driving too fast and all kinds of shit. I'm telling you, I saw 2 or 3 people that day I had to drive on that Tuesday morning just spin out and end up in a ditch in front of me, because they would pass me and then have to slow down for a light and just end up sideways in a ditch, because they didn't know how to drive it. You cannot drive fast in this stuff. You have to drive. I think when I was driving home the other day, if you look at that short that I did, I was driving home 35 miles an hour on a road that's usually 60. Okay. It was a freeway, and it was completely covered in ice. The whole thing was. And the only reason why I was able to drive it is it had just started, and there was still a little bit of traffic. So I had some ruts already there for me. You know what I'm saying? And they had sanded the bridge. So once I got on the bridge and got over that, I was good to go, But we have a parkway. I live in what's called Shreveport Bossier. I'm on the Bossier side of the river. I'm like 2 neighborhoods away from Barksdale Air Force Base. Okay. And there's a parkway on either side of the Red River. On the Shreveport side, it's the Clyde Fant. On the Bossier side, it's the Arthur Ray Teague. And I was on Arthur Ray Teague, and nobody was driving on that thing. And I was driving like 25, 30 miles an hour, because it's got some turns in it. And I just didn't want to lose it, you know. And by the way, if you do have to drive in this and it's an emergency, remember this. If you don't remember anything else, steer into the skid and do not hit your brakes. Let it slow down and steer into the skid. You'll be all right. Okay? Do not hit your brakes right away, because hitting your brakes will make the momentum of the direction you're going, the car will continue to go that direction. Okay? So, there you go. That's my piece of advice for driving in this kind of bad weather. So there you go. But yeah, a lot of people are doing the weather coverage stuff. Real Wade Nation has done it a little bit with his channel too.
Mhm.
So yeah,
And I do wanna-
I'm not shocked that you wanted to do a weather report. That would be a cool stream. People would watch that. They would, for sure.
And I do want to say goodnight to, or actually kind of good morning over there to Sashi. Back to the grind. See you guys. All right. Take it easy.
Take care. It's good to see you.
All right. Well, let's get back to the chat. Bill says, "Are you a secret spokesperson for Streamwell? How much did they give you?"
No, that's
Nah.
not it at all. I just
No.
look. I'm a tight son of a bitch, man. I'm Irish Indian, but there might be some Jewish in there somewhere. I'm telling you, I'm just tight with money. I just don't like to spend it. That's just all there is to it. You know.
All right.
You jack up the price of something for me twice as much when I can get it for a quarter of that.
Yeah,
Nah, that's okay. I'll go with the
better
quarter
deal.
of. Yeah.
All right. Mark Melikov says, I'd rather watch trains go by than the Oscars. Yeah. And a couple of. And there's actually a movie that's nominated for Best Picture that has to do with trains that is actually
Yeah.
not a bad film.
Yeah.
Train
Yeah.
dreams, yeah.
I need to watch these. There's a few of them
Yeah.
I need to see.
There's actually a few of them that are not bad that are
Mm-hmm.
nominated this year.
Yeah.
There were some snubs. I would have liked to have seen Warfare in there for something.
Yeah.
But didn't
Yeah.
it didn't
They did
happen.
not give a shit that The Rock was doing a serious role, did they?
No,
Were they? They didn't. I don't think I saw the Smashing Machine up for anything.
except for makeup,
Is it
obviously.
really?
Yeah, yeah.
I might win for that. It might.
It might.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because it does not
um,
look like him. That's for sure. Yeah, he's
for
hard to
sure.
recognize. Yep.
Yeah. But
But
yeah, for the most part, yeah, I'm not planning, even though I've done a number of shows about it already, and probably will do a couple more. I'm not. Honestly, I'm not
I'll
planning
tell you what
on
would be a
watching
better
that
watch
broadcast.
if you want to
Yeah.
see what happens with the Oscars. Watch Film Thread. They put on
Yeah.
a good show Oscar night. They do. They all get their tuxes on. They wear bow
Mm-hmm.
ties. Even Gary Nerd Roddick wears one. Yeah,
Nice.
it's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool show they do. All they do is cover the Oscars, and it's just a panel telling you what
Yeah.
happens. Yeah, it's pretty good.
So she says Starfleet 90210. Yeah.
I've been calling it that too. You know what I call it? I call it Star Date. Separated, not one word. Separated. Star Date 90210. I called it that the other day. Yeah.
Bill says, I watch YouTube from my computer on a 30-inch 720 pixel TV.
Yeah. Well, I watch it from several locations. I watch it
Yeah.
on a laptop. I watch it on my iPad. I watch it on my phone. I watch it on my television, which is 55 inches. I watch it on several formats. Look, in today's world, you're on the go. I mean, when I'm going to work on a Friday night around 5 o'clock, or no, excuse me, around 4 in the afternoon, Friday Night Tights is already an hour in, and I'm leaving at 3:30. So I just put that on I've got a little phone stand and I listen to it on the way to work, with my phone. People are on the go these days. They watch it several different ways, man. That's why I'm not surprised they do this vertical thing. I guarantee you they did that specifically for Instagram and TikTok. Guarantee you that's what that's for. Yep.
And welcome to Ice Wolf Wolfie. Says, I am totally for the Steelers.
Cheers, Wolf Woofy. Uh,
You know?
you and the Steelers will be watching at home right along with me, but my
Mm-hmm.
Seahawks will be in the game. Woohoo!
Says, unless he's for the Steelers, then I'm for the other one. Fair enough. Fair enough. All right. I actually don't have any skin in the game. What would be considered my local teams, which would be the Panthers and the Jaguars, are pretty much out of it. So
They
yeah,
are, but they've represented well this year. They showed up in the
they
playoffs, man.
they
That-
did they did.
the Panthers being there was surprising to me. That
Yeah.
that was very cool. Very cool.
Mark says Starfleet Woke Academy. I wanted to zap myself with a Klingon paint stick afterwards. Yeah, yeah. I just
Why did you even watch it? You knew what was coming.
No, I mean, once I saw that scene, I swallowed my com badge. I go,
Oh my god.
the
Well,
fuck out of here.
here's the poster for it should have told you shouldn't watch that.
Yeah.
And here's the heartbreak of it for me personally. I've got to tell you, I'm an OG rented lips OG Trek fan.
Mm-hmm.
I love Kirk, Spock, and McCoy. That's the
Yeah.
trinity that I love. I never could get into Star Trek Next Generation because I can't stand Picard. I liked a lot of the other crew members, but I've watched episodes. It's not like I totally cut bait with it. I just couldn't follow it on a regular basis. I tuned in for Encounter at Farpoint like everybody did back when it came out. I was supremely happy that we were getting Star Trek again. But I've never followed Deep Space Nine, which I hear is probably the best out of those shows they had in the
I
90s.
think it is. Yeah.
I never watched Voyager, even though I would really like to know more about the American Indian guy, Chakotay. I would love to know more about that character. The last one that I really followed was Archer on Enterprise. I think my wife and I watched pretty much everything except for the last season. We've got to see that. We still want, we still want to finish it. We just haven't gotten around to it yet. But the thing that breaks my heart about this particular show and the entire run of Paramount Star Trek has been bad. All of it has been bad. The only one that I really enjoyed was Picard season 3, but that was Jangling Keys. That's why I loved it. It was definitely made by a fan of the television show. But what breaks my heart about this particular show, Stardate 90210, I call it, is the fact that Holly Hunter and what's the other actor that's really good?
Paul
that's in it?
Giamatti.
Yeah, Paul Giamatti that is attached to it. I mean, and from what I understand, Holly Hunter knew how bad it was and tried to warn us, apparently, on social media.
Apparently, yeah.
So kudos to her for doing that,
So, because I was saying, if you want to do like a legit Star Trek series, I mean, like a Star Trek series written by actual adults.
Yeah.
You want to make Holly Hunter the captain and Giamatti this, recurring villain, kind of like her Gul Dukat, maybe.
Right.
Go for it.
Yeah.
I'd be, if you put her out there with a starship with a bunch of rookies, do like an Orville.
Yeah.
Orville's
a better Star Trek show than anything Paramount's put out.
And then because because it's all there. I mean, even in the Orville, when his reaction, we're giving you the Orville. The Orville, come on. He knows he's not getting the best ship.
Yeah.
And probably not the best crew, which is why he has to go out and get Kelly and Gordon and all those guys. So he knows he's got a couple of people there he can depend on.
Yeah.
So, if you wanted to do something that was sort of in that similar vein, and like I said, have this recurring villain, I'd be fine. I'd watch that. I'd be for it. Yeah. But no, they want to do their identity politics thing, and I'm not going to bother.
Look, I have never, like I said, never watched anything religiously except for the OG show. Yeah. But I know who the Jem Hadar are, and I know they're all male, and they've got a chick, Jem Hadar, on there. I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
I mean, I gave it a chance. Deleted scenes. I'm one of these people that thinks you really can't comment on something unless you have watched it. Okay. That's why I went ahead and watched One Battle After Another. I watched that movie and found it to be the most racist thing I've watched in years. And it's just horrible. That movie is bad. I mean, DiCaprio's got some funny moments because he's a great actor. But other than that, it's garbage. Yeah. But my wife and I gave Star Trek Discovery 2 seasons and about 4 episodes into that 3rd season when they were deep in the future and there was like no starship and none of that shit. It was just characters scattered all over the fucking place and they were trying to start up Starfleet again. I was like, this is dumb. This is not Star Trek. I'm sorry. But when Strange New Worlds came out, I gave that, a few episodes, and I really think that Anson Mount's Pike was the best thing about Discovery. My favorite episode of any of that Star Trek that they've put out is one that they had on Discovery where Pike actually saw what his future was. I don't know if you saw that episode or not. You know,
No.
he ends up in the chair. He's in the episode of the Menagerie, the only two-parter they had. You know, the one they made with the pilot uh,
Mm-hmm.
footage in the original show. The only
Yeah.
two-parter they had. Um, and he saw how he got in the chair. And I think the whole premise of it was they had to get some kind of red crystals to power some suit that Michael Burnham was going to wear. Anyway, it would show you the most important moment of your future, and you could change it if you didn't take the crystal from the place. It was some kind of Klingon world where there was monks guarding everything, and uh, it was a really cool episode because he chose to go ahead and help her with her mission and take the crystal, which meant he knew he was going to end up in that chair a decade before he was going to end up in.
Mm.
You know, it was a pretty cool episode. That was the coolest thing I saw. So I was on board with Anson Mount's Pike, and then I started watching it. And I was like, man, they keep fucking with the Spock character. That's bad. And then when they did the fucking thing where they had the Gorn episode where they basically made it a xenomorph, you know, and made it like the fucking, alien
Mm.
bugs and shit. I was like, come on, man. Now you're just jacking around. And I heard they had a musical episode. I never watched it. I gave
Yeah.
up on it after the Borg episode. I was like, oh, man, they're just jacking with it. And on that very show, they had some kind of time thing where one of the crew members, who was a descendant of Khan Noonien Singh, has a fucking romantic relationship with Kirk. I'm like, are you serious? That's so wrong on so many levels. It's not even funny.
Yeah.
It was bad. Yeah, that's the most I gave Paramount Star Trek. I haven't watched anything since. I didn't watch uh, Section 31. I'm not watching the Starfleet Academy show, but I am hopeful. Now you got to remember, deleted. This is one thing you and I have in common. I am glass half full. I'm not totally fucking black pilled. Okay, I am hopeful that they are. It's in the works right now. They're going to do a new Star Trek cinematic universe that is not going to be tied into the Paramount Plus universe. And I'm hoping against hope it's a discovery mission, not the Discovery, but like the first show was, like Strange New Worlds tried to be, one that's an exploration mission, like the original show. I'm hoping it's going to do that in the future. You know what I mean? Away from all this stuff that they've totally broken half the canon with. You know what I mean? I'm really hoping it's that. So I'm crossing my fingers. But yeah, don't waste your time with Stardate 90210. Makes no sense.
All right. We do have a few minutes here, so let me kind of blow through some of these comments real quick.
Go.
Sashi says, I get people trying to tell me about a person. Dude, I live in Southeast Asia. Please.
Right.
Truex says, freezing rain is the worst. Indeed. Connie says she's glad she has her backup generator. 15 degrees. Feels like 7. Snowing on and off today. Yeah, I've been lucky so far. Says I remember
Where's
the
she at,
blizzard
the
is
leading
78.
scenes? Where's she
Where
at?
is she at? I'm honestly not 100% sure where Connie
Gotcha.
is.
Gotcha.
But
Blizzard of
yeah,
78.
she's
Whoa. That's way back, girlfriend.
Yeah.
That's way back. Don't age yourself like that. Don't do that.
Mark says I enjoyed today's snowfall. I'll show a few photos I took on Cosme. Snow didn't stop the trains. No, it didn't. Let's see. Big Al Presents has joined us. Hello, sir. I am going to be joining Al for 2 upcoming episodes. I am going to be. He's going to be completing his Guillermo del Toro month with Hellboy. So I'll be
nice.
on the panel for that along with Troy and Etter. And Al and I are going to be watching Megaforce here in a couple of weeks.
Oh my
So,
gosh. Wow.
Yeah.
It's a blast from the past.
Indeed. Connie says, love the Orville. So does Al.
Yeah, the Orville,
Okay.
it started
Yeah.
off as kind of a parody of Trek, but
Hmm.
you can tell people that made that love Star Trek, man, and it morphed into something different, didn't it?
Yeah. Says Bill is asking, did you view all seasons of Picard?
I watched the first season of it. When they killed him and turned him into a robot, I said, "Screw this!" But I heard so much about Picard season 3 that I had to watch it. And let me tell you, that's the last time I was watching Star Trek that I really went at the end of. They really escalated that with every episode, and I know it was jangling keys. I know that argument of it, but it really was cool to see some of the cliffhanger endings and some of the shocking moments they put in it. Man, there was a character. I can't remember what show it was from, but she got blown up at the end of one of them, and it was fantastic. It was great storytelling. I thought it was great. I thought they treated the property with honor and integrity, and I really enjoyed it. I really did. Even though Picard was a fucking robot, that made no sense to me at all. That's why I didn't even watch the second season. So, yeah.
Connie says, Sci-Fi Mombi, myself, and three of you did a watch party of the show. I think we should talk about the Orville.
Oh
We
yeah.
also did readings on some of the comics.
Mm-hmm.
Mark Malnikov says Anson Mount has joined other Star Trek cast members in being a quote gatekeeper and attacking fans that hate all the Kurtzman Drek. Well,
Oh my
yeah.
God! Really?
What else is new? You know.
That's
Yeah.
a shame.
Yeah, because I
Because
mean,
I enjoyed his
the
character.
bits that I've
I've always
seen,
liked
he's
Pike, so
actually a decent Pike.
yeah,
That's the
he
thing.
is.
Yeah.
Here's the only problem with this Pike. And I don't know if you'll get the joke or not, but every once in a while I tell my wife I just expect him to say, "Hey, Mama," every once in a while. He's got a Johnny Bravo haircut. Why do they pump up his hair like that? I'm like, what the hell, you know? But yeah, that's a shame.
Yeah.
Go ahead and gatekeep, brother. I'll stay out. No
Yeah.
problem.
Mark Malnikov says it was Roll Aaron that got blown up. Oh, that's too bad.
Is that who it was? Okay,
Michelle
yeah.
Forbes. Oh,
And
well,
at the end of this
that's a shame.
episode, I was, oh my God, no, because that was a character I remember from the show that I thought was cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And Connie says that she's in Ohio, not far from Lake Erie, about 20 miles east of Cleveland.
Okay. Well, yeah.
All right.
Well, you're used to this stuff then. Yeah. I'm not. I'm in a place where we're not used to it. That's for sure.
All right. Well, we do have to start wrapping up here because I got to get everybody over to the conclusion of the block over the Troy's channel for Doctor Who as we watch William Hartnell escape from the Daleks for the first time. So, all right. Joe, what do you have coming up?
Oh man. Anybody can see the schedule that I have. It's right there on YouTube. I've got it front line underneath my trailer. What's coming up? The next show I'll be on is tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. for Pop Culture Minefields Military Monday. We are reviewing Braveheart, the movie that Mel Gibson directed and got Best Picture for and all that good stuff
Mm-hmm.
back in the day, back in the 80s. And then I've got 3 shows tomorrow. That's my busiest streaming days tomorrow. Uh, we're going to be at 4 p.m. Going to be on Brian's channel, That 70s Rock Band, for It's Only Talk and Roll. And this week it's The Power of the Fourth Album. Borner 4, Led Zeppelin 4, Toto 4. Many bands have what many people consider their greatest album be their fourth album that they ever put out. And we're going to talk about it at 4 p.m. tomorrow on That 70s Rock Band's channel. And then I, of course, have my video game stream at 6:30. Papa Joe Gamer, video games, cocktails, and fails. As I play some DC Universe Online. We played DC Universe Online the last Monday of the month. Religiously, I have a good friend named Lunatic that plays it with me. It's my favorite video game of all time. And we'll be back to the my first time playthrough of Mass Effect 3 the next week. But last Monday of the month is reserved for DC Universe Online. So that's what I got tomorrow, buddy. Thanks for having me, by the way. I appreciate it.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you for taking the time out to join me tonight. All right. Very quickly, as for myself, tomorrow night is, if all goes as planned, will be mystery movie night. So the mystery movie night podcast will be at 7 p.m. Tuesday night. That'll be followed directly after at 8:30 by the next episode of Live from Sparkwood and 21, where Troy, Netter, Boomer, and myself will be watching and discussing part 2 of the fan edit of Fire Walk with Me. Let's see. Thursday, I am going to be joining Outlaw Bill for Action Theater. We do have a movie in mind. Haven't officially announced yet, but I can say it is an action movie from the 80s with an all-star cast that I think is everybody's going to like. It's a pretty badass movie. So let's see. And of course, later that night will be my my program, Coming Attractions, where you get to find out what I'm going to be doing in the next week. Like I said, I have a couple of episodes coming up with Big Al Presents, Hellboy and Megaforce. Of course, this show will return, as well as Unscripted. And I'm also, here in the next week or so, I'm planning to review Frankenstein, as well as the Affleck Damon Netflix film The Rep. And I'm getting a couple of people together to discuss Shelby Oaks. So, yeah, plenty coming out. All right, so thank you to everyone who joined us on X, everyone who joined us here in the live chat, anybody who might be lurking or watching the show later on. Greatly appreciate it. Thank you once again, Joe, for joining me.
Anytime, brother. Anytime you need me, just holler.
Right on. Mm-hmm. And as I always say at the end of every broadcast, from HQ and all points north, south, east, west, and beyond, good night, take care, stay strong, be safe and healthy, because this is how we win. We're going to do a hard out. Troy's probably already started, so I'm going to cut it here. Good night.
That's all, folks.